What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got some frost going on this morning on top of the 250. Been out here since like way early. It got down to 34. I know most of you guys watching, you're like, that's nothing, man. But in South Florida here, we want to try to keep our plants alive. And I just planted a ton of new plants. You're not really supposed to be planting in January, but I'm like, I'm going all out. And so I've been out here like since before the sun came up, spraying some hose well water on it because it comes deep from the earth and it's a little bit warmer, maybe like 30 degrees warmer than any frost. And I've been knocking some of that frost off, and now I'm just like, if this sun would just come up, like please just come up and like get us into the 40s right now, get us away from 34. That'd be good. The plant leaves can freeze and cause a lot of damage, and it's not really good, especially when you just planted them like 8 hours ago or 12 hours ago, whatever it may be. I want to share with you guys a term called loosh. We think it comes from a French word called Luche, which basically means sketchy. Loosh is more of a new age term, and I share this with you because I notice on YouTube or on any content anywhere that the crazier it is, the more fear-based it is, the better it's going to perform. All right. If you feed these things, if you feed these algos, the fear and the doubt and the uncertainty and the dopamine hits, if you give them that dopamine after dopamine hit, it does well, right? The algorithm will reward you. And a lot of content creators that I think know better are like, hey, baby, I'll take those views, baby. I get my numbers up. Yeah. And if you want to have a video that does really, really well, put like collapse or like, spread of some new variant, or like do something where like it really gives people that dopamine hit. And I think that we live in a culture at this point in time where it's just like completely full of just hit after hit after hit, newsfeed after newsfeed. You're just sitting there on your phone, all day long. You're just like, oh man, I gotta get my drugs. And it really is that. I mean, dopamine to the mind is just, it really is that. We're like way overstimulated, and we don't take time, myself included, just to sit back and just be like, just be in the present, just be in the moment. And I want to share a concept called loosh. I'll put on the screen. It's a weird word. It's essentially, this is how it's defined, because I feel like it's good to get the proper definition and not just like my opinion on it. Comes from the word louche, we think, French word, which means sketchy. The New Age term applied to energy produced by human beings that other entities use to feed from, also referred to as energy produced by suffering that entities feed from. Essentially what this is I think that we could all find common ground that we live in a multi-dimensional world. All right, I'm in a clearly what we perceive to be this 3D world. There's certain spectrums of light that my eyes don't see. There are other things that maybe you see or you feel or you get a gut feeling, or there's other things going on. And some of you in this audience may be super spiritual. Some of you guys may be like, I want nothing to do with that shit. And that's cool. I think that we can all find a common ground on the fact that we are probably in multi-dimensional awareness. Let's put it that way. And so loosh would be something that needs to feed on our current dimensional fear. Essentially, it can't exist, right? If you look at like a demon or something like that, right? I know it's kind of crazy talk, but if you think about that type of stuff and you're like, oh man, I'm feeding the demons. I'm feeding my inner demon, right? We all got something like that in us. We don't know what it quite is. Some of us think that we have it pinned out. Others of us are humble enough to be like, yeah, I don't know what the frick that is. But yeah, there's something there in the human spirit that's interesting. Is man good by nature? Is he evil by nature? It's a mixed bag, right? You don't really know. And some of you may have really strong opinions on it. Others you may be like, I'm about to check out. Hang for a sec. For those other entities, however you want to formulate that, demons, whatever, they can't exist in our current realm. Like they got no power here. Like they literally, like they got nothing here. So therefore they require our energy to feed them. Essentially, we got to feed the monsters. To other content creators that put out fear, it's a very mainstream media tactic where You put it out, and it's effective. It gets you views, man. It gets you subs, man. People like it. They got to get that dopamine hit. You know, all of us, we're on our phone all day long. We're like, oh, man, I got to get my news feed hit. Oh, I'm sitting in line for 3 minutes at the cashier. Oh, man, I got to be consuming content. I mean, I'm kind of like that too. I get it. I'm trying to break from that, trying to be able to embrace the present, you know, live in the present. I've always lived in the future for the most part. Some people are stuck in the past. Present's all we got. And that's why it's called the present. But to feed these other entities with the energy of human beings to get views is about the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. And it works. It works. But it's completely fucked. And I don't think a lot of people really think through it like that. I think that people go, hey man, it's good for views, man. We're crushing it, man. Like, and it's just like, man, watching a lot of younger content creators come up, meaning like younger channels or just people in general. And like, they love to feed off this. And my message to you is like, dude, cut that crap out of your newsfeed. Like literally block that shit. Like train the algo to work for you, where it's like, no, I don't want to see that shit. Like if it doesn't directly affect my daily life, and maybe it will down the road, but it's not the present, I don't have to really worry about it. There is a point where, yeah, you need to prepare, right? But what's going to come tomorrow, how much of that are we really in control of? I'm in control of a little bit of it, right? I can plant some plants. I can get in shape. I can take care of my health. I can save money. I can be a good steward of money. I can try to grow money. I can try to learn, try to build good social connections. Beyond that, not a whole lot I can do. There's just, hey, nothing I can do about it. But that's probably enough. Like I think I'll probably be just fine with, I mean, my social connections alone. Again, you know, not to mention other skills. But that's really all we can do is we can enjoy the time that we have, however much time that may be, maybe a day, maybe another 100 years. I've always sat there and been like, man, if I could just get to 80, I bet technology would help me get to like 120. But then, you know, I don't know. Sounds good now. Might not be good then. We'll find out. But be aware of this loosh, this concept of loosh, wherever you are in the spiritual spectrum. No need to feed it. You know, I could get the views on this channel triple, four times where they are if I were willing to go with the fear trade. But that's just not the message here. Like the message here is there's a lot of stuff that we can do to prepare for a future that's going to be different than the past, which is fine. You know, we got here where we are, at least in the Western world, pretty easily. Like my uncle, my great uncle, my mom's uncle, Uncle Bob, literally had to kill an untold number of Germans for us to have the lifestyle that we have. Meaning we have the privilege of the American dollar. That's what we got out of World War II. World War II essentially was a clown war. If you know your history, it was freaking pointless. It was second half of the first Great War, World War One. It was like there was this halftime in between, and then everyone kind of came back out, and called it World War II. And the benefit to the U.S. getting into that war was we were able to serve the purposes of the elites at the time. We were able to get world reserve currency status, and then we were able to abuse it for the last 80 years, and here we are in another cycle. Here we go. And so a lot of people see this, which is cool. Like that's why I want to bring awareness to. It's like, hey, you know, like when the US dollar falls in value, that changes things. Not a bad thing. It means that we're going to reshore. It means that, hey, if you've ever thought about manufacturing something, there'll probably be very good incentives over the next decade to do that. I know I've got a product I really want to manufacture. It's already a company, went to the guy, discussed price, trademarks. It's just not time to manufacture in America yet. But it could be, and that could be a huge opportunity. But things are going to change. I think that's awesome. I talk about like the currency here because I think that a lot of people don't see that, but they feel it. They know that their dollars are being printed by the elites. It's odd how the elites are getting super, super rich. And the plebs, the regular populace, they are paying more at the pump, paying more at the grocery store, getting pinched all around. They're not getting the benefits of asset inflation because they don't own a lot of assets. It's a pretty messed up situation. And history is pretty clear on how those situations kind of end. But we are at a spot where like they might be able to just get these sheep in order and just be like, hey man, take your medical experiments, get your digital card because of cheaters and people that make fake documents using Monero on the internet. But you know, do we have to worry about that? Not really. We have to prepare for that. Yeah, we have to be aware of that. But fear is not going to motivate anybody to do anything or take drastic action. It might get their attention, but explaining to them, hey, this is what's going on, and it's just, it's good to be self-sovereign to the best of your ability, to build good networks, to build skills that are useful, and then whatever comes, it's going to be a good time because we're going to be ready for it. Even if it's like some Red Dawn stuff, the elites that be really screw this up with the Russia-Ukraine thing, which is none of our business. Foreign affairs are just that, foreign affairs, not our affairs. But if they screw that up enough, it might not be a TV war this time. It might be in your backyard thing. But that doesn't mean that as those days get closer that you get scared about it. Because you're just feeding the loosh. You're taking energy that you could put into something productive, and you're choosing to give it to these spiritual demons or whatever they may be. You're choosing to allow good energy out of your being, out of your soul, and you're choosing to feed, and in some content creators, you're choosing to feed the Google algorithm, which is maybe amoral or possibly not, right? But you're choosing to feed off of these human beings and their energy. And they love it because they get their dopamine hit, right? Oh my gosh. Oh man, I'm scared. And they don't know that they love being scared, but we love being scared. That's why scary movies and stuff like that are entertaining to us. We love it, We love those ups and those downs. You can get that in life by just being an entrepreneur. There'll be plenty of ups and there'll be a lot of downs, and you'll be on a roller coaster all the time if you choose to go that way. But human beings like this. And so, the short of it is, don't feed this. Don't feed this in your own life. And you look at this stuff, you get negative people in your life. You don't want that. It literally, it smells, it stinks. It gets on you, and you're like, oh man, come on now. I don't want that around me. Oh, this person's negative. They're bringing you down. Get rid of them. You're the average of the 5 people in your closest circle. And it's totally true. Change your circle, evaluate your circle. Be the dumbest guy in the room. My biggest mistakes in life is I was the smartest guy in the room. Stupid mistakes. Always want to be the dumbest guy in the room. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. And so be mindful of what you put your energy into, and don't feed the freaking these entities that can't take form in our current world. Don't give them energy. And that's just an easy mental model to think through it, regardless where you are in the spectrum of spirituality. But you don't need to feed these things. And if you're a content creator that's creating this fear trade to get views, man, it's not how you build roots. It's not how we're going to win this period of history, because we're going to win this period of history, or I'm going to be dead and I'm not going to have to worry about it. But as long as I'm here, I'm planning on winning this. And that's why I talk about hard currency, real currency, talk about economics, talk about entrepreneurship, talk about planting things. I think all these things are important. I think it's all important. But I think that the loosh and how we direct our inner energy, I think it's the most important thing we could be doing right now, is what are you going to put your energy in, and what are you going to feed? You're going to feed the beast? You're going to feed the inner demons? You're going to feed the soul? You're going to feed yourself good stuff? You're going to feed yourself good food? What are you going to feed off of? And our natural default is to feed off of fear. The fear trade is just, fear. We love the fear. Well, fear is fake and gay. It literally doesn't exist. You create it. Fear is completely in your mind. It is completely asymmetrical. It's completely self-created. And it's created off the energy of your being and then pushed off into the universe, and other entities use it to feed off of. Whether it's the Google algorithm or a content creator or anything else, they suck off of it. And it's freaking disgusting. So until next video, guys, I'll see you in the comments below. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subs. Peace.